Hey, everyone, and welcome back to Bird Talk with Terrence Mathis. I'm William Brandon. Please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel Atlanta Sports Unlimited and turn on those notifications so you don't miss an episode. Let's see, what has happened big since our last show? Oh, yeah, the 49ers traded draft picks from the Miami Dolphins, and by doing that, they jumped the Atlanta Falcons. They are
Oh
now
yeah.
drafting 3.
Well, it's funny. It just took a matter of days where that number 4 pick is not as relevant as it was 2 weeks ago for the Atlanta Falcons. But there still is going to be some quality picks right there. Well, with that jump, obviously the 49ers is going to get a quarterback. Um, I don't think they would jump that high to get an edge rusher, offensive lineman, or anything like that. They're going to get a quarterback, and it's just which quarterback are they eyeing? I got a feeling it's probably going to be someone like Zach Wilson or Justin Fields. So right now the Falcons are still sitting pretty because of the fact that uh, that pick still has a lot of worth. Because now there's some teams sitting there going, what do we need to do to jump up and get a quarterback as well? And I know 2 teams right now that uh, pretty much well need a quarterback, and that's the New England Patriots and that's the Chicago Bears. So what do they do? And I've said it to people before, friends and on other podcasts whatsoever, that if the Bears want to make a deal, the only deal I will get is trade first round picks and you give me Khalil Mack. That's the only way I'm listening to you. I'm not listening to you any other way. So, right now that 4th pick is sitting there, and we have an opportunity to get a really, really good football player. Now, where I will be disappointed, even though he is a quality top 5 pick, maybe top 10 pick, if we pick an offensive tackle. If we pick Sewell for Oregon, I'm gonna scratch my head because we've done that. Right now, we need help other places. I mean, do we go get a quarterback? Is it Lance from North Dakota? Is it Justin Fields from Ohio State? The more and more I look at this thing, the more and more it makes sense to me. Now I'm not 100% in. I'm probably about 87.98 in with drafting a quarterback because it's starting to make sense to me for the future. But if you pick a Justin Fields, the fans is going to want to see him play now. You pick a Lance, you don't have to see him play because he hasn't played a lot of football in college. So he can sit 2 years and be ready to play in year 3. So that could be interesting. And then, you hear that name, Kyle Pitts from Florida, the tight end. That's, he's high on everyone's board. Is he a 4th round pick? Is he worthy of a 4th round pick? Yes. Do the Atlanta Falcons go get him? I don't know, but it's interesting. And then you look at the wide receiver position. You have now Jamar Chase has jumped above every receiver without even playing the year. He has wowed people in his pro day, and then you have Waddle, and then you have Smith. Now, look at the Falcons situation. Do they go get a receiver in the 4th pick? Listen, don't curse at me. Don't call me names. Don't threaten me whatsoever. If they go get one of these guys, does that mean, is that the end of Julio Jones? Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, Ridley contract is about to end. And you can't afford to pay 2 receivers close to $40 million a year on 2 receivers. So this gives you a chance to upgrade your wide receiver position if you go get one of the 3. Now, edge rusher. I said that if we pick an edge rusher, a Parsons, or I think it's Pay, or whoever it is at Michigan, he's going to cost money. But, right now, if we're going by the mindset of what Terry Fortno keeps saying, we're going to pick the best player available. So here you go. You're going to have a choice of some really, really good football players, and you're going to have to pay a lot of money for them. Do we go get Patrick Surtain? who now we got two corners that, possibly in the next 2 to 3 years going to be shut down corners, where now we can blitz in a blitz happy scheme that Dan Peace is bringing. You're going to have corners that can cover and cover for a long time. So where do we go? I don't know, man. It's the intriguing thing is this: you can't miss at number 4. Now, if you do something crazy and go and say get someone that you feel that is better than the guys that I have mentioned, oof, oof, I don't know.
You gave me a lot of questions I got for you now. So it's good to hear, or I'll say I'm sure fans are glad to hear that you're probably on board with the quarterback at taking at number 4 now. So I'm sure the fans out there are going to have a lot to say about that.
Well, William, after you've seen Justin Fields' pro day, and the dude at 250 something pounds running a 4.40 and can throw the ball and sling the ball the way he can, he's going to get you out of a lot of trouble. When somebody tries to blitz you, he can step out the way and make plays with his legs. And plus, he got a strong arm. And here's a guy who's played in big time games.
Yeah.
So he's I'm not saying he's a ready-made NFL quarterback, but I think his transition to the next level his progress is gonna be kind of quicker than most.
Okay. Yeah. I think so as well. Playing against Alabama, playing those playoff game scenarios, those were some big time games. I was going to ask you, can we kind of get an idea now that the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan, former Atlanta Falcon offensive coordinator, does it seem like maybe he kind of knows what Atlanta was trying to do, and they maybe thought, hey, Atlanta's going to get our guy. We got to get in front of them or else they might get our guy. So is that kind of –
Yeah, I think that was it. I think that was it. I think as you see after the Zach Wilson
pro day,
all of a sudden this happens. So, I don't know. I don't think the Falcons were, they probably watched Zach Wilson, was probably at that pro day, but I don't think Zach Wilson is, he's one of the top quarterbacks on their list, but I don't think he's one of the top 3 that the Falcons are looking at. First, yes, he is, because we know that Trevor Lawrence is going. So you might as well take him off the board.
Yeah.
So now you're looking at Justin Fields, you're looking at Lance, you're looking at Zach Wilson, and then you look at Mac Jones. So in that pretty much in that order. So I don't think the 49ers were worried about the Falcons picking their guy. I think they was more worried about that they weren't going to get their guy, even if the Falcons didn't pick a quarterback. I think down the road there, somebody else will get one, and then they'll be sitting there wondering why we didn't trade up to get what we wanted.
Also, do you think that by the Falcons staying put, because you wonder, did the 49ers reach out to Atlanta? And then if they're staying put to kind of increase their bargaining chip, you think that's a possibility as well, that Terry Fontenot is kind of playing the game like, they had the opportunity to possibly trade that pick, but staying put at 4. Now other teams are like, hey, I wonder what Atlanta's really plan on doing with that pick. Do you think it increases the value the closer it gets to draft day? Now they're like, hey.
Well, I think that with the Falcons staying put there and being quiet about the number 4 pick, and they not even saying anything if they're getting any phone calls or anything about any other team wants to move up or trade picks with them whatsoever, it gives value to that pick. Now, closer to the draft day, even draft day that evening, you never know. You might see a trade. Right now, the Falcons have 9 picks in this upcoming draft. I would be happy with 15 picks in this upcoming draft. So, the thing is, now you have multiple players to implement for the future, because this Atlanta Falcons team right now is getting older. Yeah. And you got to have guys to be ready-made, step in and continue to build on this roster. So they did a great job by not spinning the wheel and spending a whole lot of money in free agency. They did a great job there. And as you can see, well, now this goes to tell you what I was talking about when we first started this thing. This team is so close to winning the division that they didn't have to go out and pick 8 to 10 guys in free agency to help them win. They already there. They just have to be healthy, and they got to get a different mindset, which obviously is going to happen because it's the first time we heard from Arthur Smith last week, and I like some of the things that he said. So right now, it's a positive vibe with the Falcons, and the most intriguing thing is at that number 4 pick, you can't miss. You can't miss. Even if you go get Sewell, you can't miss. There's so much talent in this year's draft that the only way you make a mistake if you spin the wheel and do like this and go and you got a guy from Canada somewhere.
Yeah, I think that pick is, like you said, whether they get a quarterback, Kyle Pitts, Sewell, I mean, it's going to be hard to miss because I even like the Trey Lance scenario. Like you said, they could draft Trey Lance. He could sit behind Matt for these 2 years because, again, Matt has those high contract numbers these next 2 years. So that makes sense.
See, and the thing is, this is what we must understand is this. You got the 4th pick in the first round. Mm-hmm. You got the 4th pick in the second round. Those are 2 high draft picks in the first 2 rounds, so you can't mess it up. So if you miss some, if you do the Lance thing, you go, well, we picked a guy that's not going to play in 2 years, but you got the number 4th pick in the second round where that dude is going to play right away. Now, does one of those defensive ends drop down to that second round? Well, hopefully it's so, and we go get one. But at the end of the day, everybody wants to see offense. Yeah. But if you can't stop anybody, it doesn't matter how much offense you have. So, I'm pretty much saying that the Falcons are good offensively. They may need to add one more piece, one more weapon, but defensively they got to shore up the corner position, the safety position, and on the edge.
Yeah, 100%. The defense was, as we talked about before, was the main catalyst of the failures of last year's team. I mean, the Falcons offense could put up points. They had leads multiple games, but
they finished pretty much last in defense. Yeah. If they can jump and get to 15, they're going to win the division and go on and play well in the playoffs because that offense is going to finish in the top 15 offensively. So you're there. If you're there in that arena, 15 and higher, you have a chance to go on and play deep into the playoffs.
A side note, what do you think about the Dan Quinn building the Atlanta Falcons in the Dallas Cowboys locker room?
the Falcons Southwest? Yeah. Well, that's the same mentality, he had when he left Seattle to come to Atlanta. Everybody will say, is this, Northwest, team, the Atlanta Falcons. My thing is that he just wants people that knows his system, that he can trust, that can help these others learn the system fast. So pretty much these guys are extra eyes and extra teachers to help this defense to get better. So it's common. It's common in the NFL.
All right. Some other news. I'm sure everyone's heard the NFL did add an additional game. It'll be a 17-game season starting this season. You, as a former player, what would you feel like if you were told you had to play extra game? Would you be happy? Would you be?
Well, you know what? Me personally, I don't think I would have mind at all playing an extra game because you take away a preseason game. So you got 3 preseason, you're still going to play 20 games.
Yeah.
Still going to play 20 games. But the 17th game it's going to be brutal, of course, because you know how the schedule goes. You play Sunday, then there's a Sunday night game, then there's a Monday night game, then there's a Thursday night game. And so, it's just how that thing flows, and you have to do that within 18 weeks. You still get a bye week whatsoever. You add that game, which will be the Jaguars 49ers for the Falcons get to see Trevor Lawrence whatsoever, hopefully early before he gets his groove on and we get him late. But, you know, the thing is, this was all about money. It's all about money. You know, you get more you get more money with the 17th game instead of a fourth preseason game. So, and we know that the NFL lost about $4 billion or something like that last year with COVID and not having people in the stands. So this is a chance for the owners to make up some money. The player, and at the end of the day, salary cap went up, and as you see, salaries are going up. So, you know, the thing is that these owners, they trying to recoup. These organizations trying to recoup, and you know, it's a business. And if you upset about the business part of this game, you know, it is what it is. You don't have to do it.
Well, that's facts. I know the fans are ecstatic, and some of the players, maybe I imagine some of the players that are on the lower end of the pay scale are probably happy because they get extra game check.
Right.
And this, for clarification, are the game checks for preseason and the regular season the same?
Yeah, it's the same. Okay. It's just now all it's going to do is now instead of paying you your full salary in 17 weeks, now you're going to get paid for 18 weeks. So they're going to defer that money for 18 weeks. Okay. So, you know, it doesn't change whatsoever. You're still going to get paid. You're just playing an extra week into the season. You don't get more money. You just get an extra, you know, the checks just get deferred out for 18 weeks.
Okay. Usually at this point in the show, we would have some fan questions. I don't have any questions this week. I can tell you, Terrence, that there were a lot of comments.
Boy.
Everybody was, and I don't have any because I'll just give you a brief synopsis, but they were going back and forth about the don't be scared to trade within the division comment. So, you know, you had some that were against it and then some that agreed with you, but
well, you know, at the end of the day, it's one of those things that, you know, if you watch football a lot and you listen to analysts and you listen to commentators, and they always say, "Oh, don't trade in the division because that may come back and haunt you."
Yeah.
When did it ever happen where it came back to haunt you? So it's just someone speaking of their, you know, hey, it's taboo to do this.
Yeah.
Well, I've never seen a guy get traded within a division and went and dominated another team by himself.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? Or we trade draft picks or we switch draft picks and a guy get drafted by that team in the division and he dominates the team that traded him. Show me the facts and show me the evidence that this has happened. And I will go back and say, let's not do that.
Yeah. I think I agree. I think the biggest threat to the Falcons, I mean, and when we talk about quarterbacks, they shouldn't be worried about who's drafting who. They got to still worry about Tom Brady over in Tampa and that team.
Right.
That's who's in front of the Falcons. So,
where the Falcons need to be right now is this: is they got to be looking at what's in the division, but they got to look at themselves.
Yeah.
You know, they got to really look at themselves. They can't afford to beat themselves as they did 4 or 5 times last season. So the thing is, you know, you got to worry about yourself. Make sure we are attention to detail, that we all playing for the same reasons, and that's to win football games and advance and win a championship, and that we trust each other, that the coaches trust the players trust the coaches. And it seems like right now what Arthur Smith has put together, listening to him last week, he put together a good staff. He feels confident with that staff. I didn't hear no ums and buts, and we'll see. He feels like he put together a solid staff that each and every one of them know each other from place to place, and they trust each other and they work together whatsoever. The interesting thing that was said in that conversation with Arthur Smith is that he said, "I'm not bringing the Tennessee Titans to Atlanta." He said, "This is a whole different thing." So now we do know that we're not going to get what we thought we were going to get. Yes. So we do know that it's going to be all inclusive. Everyone is going to have a say in what kind of team that is going to be built here. And I'm excited to see, if I'm Arthur Smith with all the weapons that he has and may get another one in the draft. Oh my God. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be in the lab like a mad doctor and a mad scientist putting stuff together, making sure everybody gets the touches and create mismatches and all those things. So I think right now we got a snippet of what the Falcons are gonna be. What they're not going to be, when they're not going to be the Tennessee Titans. From Fontenot, we know that we're going to draft the best available player at that time, which, if you look at it, hopefully is me personally, hopefully it's not an offensive tackle. Yeah. Nothing against Sewell, but that's not a need for us right now. So we starting to see the pieces come into place. Yeah. And then, like I told people, we'll know more about this team and what they're trying to do is after the draft.
Yeah, this draft is going to be something else. Possibility 4 straight quarterbacks could be selected.
Oh, wow. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's huge.
This time of the show, Terrence's throwbacks. What you got for us?
Oh, my goodness, man. I talked about, maybe was it 2 weeks ago, about Atlanta being spoiled with their superstars, and that's what we want. We want celebrities as football players whatsoever. Let's go back to the first name I mentioned, Deion Sanders, 1989 in Fulton County Stadium. His first touchdown, remember this, he dropped the punt early. He caught the second one, I believe, got good yardage on that one. The third one, he muffed a little bit, but he went 68 yards for a touchdown. Now, people forget, and I forgot this. This dude ran a 4.25 40 in the combine. That is moving. When I say that is moving, that's beyond. That's untouchable. Yeah. So, Fulton County Stadium, 1989 against the Rams. With the LA Rams at the time, Deion Sanders, 68-yard punt return for a touchdown.
Yeah, every time I see that highlight, it always gives me chills. He muffed it, picked it up, juked back and forth, shot up the field.
And then high step.
Yeah.
If you go look at that tape, he high stepped for about 20 and 30 yards, and the guy that was chasing him was in full stride and couldn't catch him.
I was just going to ask you about your 40 time, but I think we'll save all that close to draft.
Oh, yeah.
Draft day experience.
I can tell you about my draft day experience. It wasn't fun.
We'll save that then closer to draft. I see you got that Hall of Fame shirt on there.
Yeah, I'm representing. I think that, we have more Falcons deserving to be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Jesse Tuggle is one of the all-time leading tackle leaders in the NFL history, and he has not been on anyone's ballot in the last 10 years. Oh, he's been eligible for over 10 years, and there has not been any talk about Jesse the Hammer Tuggle of going into the Hall of Fame. Now, our sports writers here in Atlanta has to make a fuss about it. Those that are here in Atlanta and that has a vote need to vote and bring that up. So we're going to have to make fans go out there, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Jesse Tuggle for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, definitely. Jesse Tuggle would be great to see in the Hall of Fame. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all continue to stay safe. Terrence?
Stay safe. Get your shot. I got both of mine. Let's get your shot.
All right. Good to hear. Take care, everybody.